Welcome everyone. If you're new to my channel, welcome. So this Spirit Whispers are about ideas that Spirit impresses upon me to share with everyone. And it's also about questions that people have where they want me to look at specific energies or concerns. All right. And so one thing that kept coming back to me was chaos. And also, I was hearing it from others. Why are we seeing so much chaos? And when will the chaos end? All right. So let's kind of look at this. All right. I want to share too. One of the first things that had come up, because this is not a new conversation, I also had this with a few of my family members, and where Spirit already had just come in and started sharing. And, so if we look at everything that is chaotic or seems chaotic, there's that end. And then on the other side, there's just this quiet, sensitive peace. It's a peace that surpasses all understanding. For the first time in a long time, a lot of people are unplugged. They have that space in their life to breathe, to feel, to communicate with those they care for, and to communicate with themselves, the one you should care for the most. Because if you care for you, then you can care for others. So there's also, so it's that, like that yin and yang, right? The two energies are kind of, rubbing on each other and actually blending and bleeding into one another. And so it's funny because a lot of people see the diversity, and I don't know, diversity means, for me, that means inclusion. But it also can mean diversity, change, different cultural ideas, etc. Or just different ideas and philosophies, all right? So we have these diverse opinions and polarization is what they're calling it, right? That things are like, trying to, it's interesting because, as I'm doing this, it's like they're saying it's like two sides are trying to force the other side in some regard, and then I'm sure there's the one on one side going, but we're not doing any forcing, and this side going, but we're right, or we're not forcing either. And yet it's like there's a smoothing out, and there is actually like a forming that's coming in of a new paradigm, all right, a new way of being. But what that is forming into is something that's somewhat like this, a bit of an S shape, that's going to, like, right? So for some of you, I know you're going, hey, I see that going down the drain, right? Or is it something that's going up? Is it, see, both sides, right? Right? So, yeah, a lot of changes. So why are we seeing the chaos? All right, so I want to let them speak to us and share this. All right, I'm hearing freedom rings. And I'm also hearing freedom reigns, reigns supreme, but it's the concepts and ideas. And here you go, diversity of freedom. One considers freedom, another does not. But why are we having this chaos? That's what I asked, why, not the definition. So let's let the teachers come in and do that right. All right, they said, oof, boy, I almost want to cry. They said, you've forgotten who you are. And they said that you've forgotten who's placed you here. And the alignment, the alignment, that we've forgotten the alignment. What are you aligned with? What energies are you aligned with? Now, those of you that don't believe in anything, there's nothing out there, there's no universal intelligence, there's nothing, that's fine. That's great, but still you're aligned with something. And maybe you're aligned that that's not here, that's not a concept that's here. That's fine. Let me stay with this. I hear too, there's a lot of running. There's been a lot of running. It's, they said so many of you have been, prior to all this, there were so many people running as if they were being, as if their lives depended on it, as if it was like, a primitive man in the wild with an animal, wild animal chasing it and looking behind like, oh my God. And yet we're not primitive and we don't live in the wild like that, but yet that fear-based, threatened sensation of I'm not running fast enough and there's something chasing me. So it's just this overwhelming fear and threatening energies that okay, they're saying these were images or imaginings, all right? And images, and when I say images, they're saying, because very often we pick up these pictures in the spheres that show us different aspects of images that we have picked up either in many other lifetimes, things we absorb, watch, things we align with. And these pictures come in and continue to show us images that don't really represent the truth of what's really right here, right now. And there's such a peace as I'm saying that again. It's like, it's so peaceful. So, all right. So they were, okay, those things were happening. The chaos is happening because of the creation. Okay. It's a recreation of past lives, nuances in the field, things that maybe you didn't pay attention to, but somebody else did. And somebody else was definitely plugged into it. So if you've got somebody that's plugged into chaos every day, that's plugged into terrorism, that's plugged into nuclear war, that's plugged into smog, that's plugged into I can't get ahead because this person, that person, or that's plugged into I'm a woman, so this is this, or I'm a child and I was a victim of etc. We're plugged into those scenarios and situations, and those have also helped to create this chaos. So they're saying right now it's as though all those plugs have come out, and the board, let's say in the old days they had a switchboard and you'd plug in, when a call was coming in, the board is lighting up. And there's so many green lights of like go, go, go that are so kind of higher and lighter and lifting. And then there's the other red ones that are like, yeah, you want to plug into me again? You want to go into that vibration? You want to go into that feeling? So that energy of what you have always been plugged into is still calling you. And but we're in a space now where it's choice. All right, and they're saying on one hand, many of us do not want to be plugged into that one plug all by ourselves. We need our tribe, we need our community, we need validation, we need our group energy. We don't want to do it alone. We don't want to choose alone. But yet they say that at this time we are in a supreme state of choice. I said, just do that breathing. Think about that. You're in a supreme state of choice. You make a difference. What you choose to align with, plug into, is, you're choosing. And you're choosing to add to it or to dissemble it or to be neutral to it. Yeah. They also are saying that a lot of this chaos is a mind construct. It was as though we've been, and they're showing me almost like around my own head. They're putting this head shape around me, and it's all dark, and it's like, it's like a prison. It's a prison, okay? And very often Earth has been referred to as a prison planet, that this is a slave prison planet, that man was seated here to, to work for the higher gods and to create the pyramids and to do the work, and man is still enslaved, and this is a prison planet. But they're saying that it's the mental structure of that prison planet, not that it is or hasn't been, but we have been holding it in place. And they're saying there are cracks in the foundation. So they're saying as things are crackling and lightening up, they said there's some movement and there's some openings and there's some shifting and changing going on. And they're saying things are exactly as they should be and exactly on point. And a lot of things are just it's almost like just melting away, falling away. The same way that the ice is melting in the Arctic. It's it's melting, and then new land is being formed, and then those waterways are being created in other areas, and so this is what's happening. Hmm. Yeah, and I want to look at that switchboard again of choices, and they're okay. What they're doing, they're doing because the idea that you would still have to plug into anything or that you're being implored to, that's not really there. It's just that it is showing up, and you're in a place of recognizing I can choose. But I also see that board being pulled down, and you kind of like it's almost like looking over your neighbor's fence, like, oh, what do they have over there? That's interesting, and you're seeing things on the other side that there's more choices, more options. It's almost, they said, it's like floating up above and really observing. And as you open up and you awaken, that's what you do. You rise above and you see all the scenarios and the characters and characteristics, including your own, and you become the observer, and so you see a larger scale picture. All right. And I do hear freedom. A lot of the chaos, I'm getting the hit that it's happening for this freedom. Um, but I want to say with love that that does not mean because this is a prison planet or because those things you were plugged into were real or true. But if you've had the energetic exchange of the feelings of that, it's real and it's true for you in your energy body, and you will continue to perpetuate that until you realize that you can unplug from it or that there is something else. So this is an awakening. And they're saying everything is make believe. They are really wanting us to wake up from the hologram and the projections and that we feed into, that we continue to generate. And yeah, pay attention to the nuances, the knocks on the door, because there are new energies and new knocks on the door coming. So, be ready to kind of open that door. Patience is a virtue, is what they're sharing. Yeah, very interesting. hmm All right, let's look too then at okay, it was why the chaos, and then will the chaos continue? Well, I hear it's a timeline. This is a timeline issue, and we will see many changes for quite a while. Things will be somewhat chaotic, is what I'm saying. I'm hearing the word chaotic, but I'm seeing it in smaller increments. Um, like we'll see things kind of flare up, but I'm hearing through 2026, we will see and hear of different little chaotic like things. It's almost like, think of it as little bubbles of creation, okay? And this chaotic energy is going in, it's kind of bursting that bubble, and it's opening everyone up. Even, and I want to say too, with love, like you could have the most sustainable farm and and do everything so natural and just be in this really nirvana, right? Where everything's beautiful, wonderful, and then, but that is also a bubble. It's not that it's not a beautiful bubble, but it is a bubble. And they said, like, so if something like, say, infestation or I want to say pesticides, which would be awful to a really nice sustainable organic garden, right? But say something chaotic happened there, it'd be like, but they're saying that as that were to happen, it's like all of a sudden farming would change, and the idea that others could farm in that same way, it's almost like one person goes down so that a million others can do what that one person was doing. So this chaotic expression is really to help awaken man further. All right. Into the source of all creation. All right. The source of all creation. That flood of energy, light, harmonious, fluidity, which is not a man with a white beard on a cloud. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so that's a lot of what's happening. All right. I think they answered that really well. I'm going to pull a card here. Those of you that watch my other videos might be familiar. These are called messages of light. So I just shuffled them, okay? And I just want to see what else wants to add to what I just shared. My inner calling. I now see that all situations in life that cause resentment are ideal opportunities to work on my inner self. These ordeals are necessary for my growth as I become aware of my dualities. Thus, I de-dramatize situations and have access to the positive cause of my experience. So, with that, I want to say, moving forward, how do you stay peaceful when there is that chaos? Unplug from it. And I want to say too, with love, I hear so much from even my community, which I consider myself to be a small segment of a larger community that is maybe more, has more awareness of different topics and ideas. But now I'm really seeing and hearing a lot of, well, this is coming and they're hiding this and they're hiding that. And that is just really perpetuating a lot more energy. Good, bad, and different. Okay. But does that give me peace? And the thing is, if we have an issue, my mantra is to be proactive, not reactive. So if there is a situation, something that's lighting you up, what is a solution? And field that solution. And you field that solution within yourself, and then it will expand out into your environment, become that solution. And that's the best way. Don't ever discount the voluminous, light, and expanded being that you are. You make a difference. Namaste. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.